yeah. Oh. 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 Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamotim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. In some texts of the Gita, this particular verse, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet would be mentioned. But to my mind, Vyasa Pranitam text would not have included himself. The others would have included, right? The later Sishyas. Then, yeah. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat krupa tamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramarutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tatgatena Manasa Pashyamti Yam Yoginaha Yashantam Navidur Sura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om. We had day before came to the end of the first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. But all of you must pardon me. We did not have time day before to do the Gita Mahatyam. I wanted to do yesterday, but I forgot. In the rush of the coverage of slokas and things like that, I beg the pardon of all of you. I would like to cover the Gita Mahatyam before we go on to the question of whatever. Atha Gita Mahatyam Dharo Vacha Bhagavan Parameshana भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी प्रारब्धं बुध्यमानस्य कथं भवति हे प्रभो। विष्णुरुवाच प्रारब्धं बुध्यमानोऽपि गीताभ्यासरतः सदा समुक्तः स सुखी लोके कर्मणा नोपलिप्यते। महापापादिपापानि गीताध्यानं करोति चेत् क्वचित् स्पर्शं न कुर्वन्ति नलिनीदलमम्भवत्। गीताया पुस्तकं यत्र यत्र पाठः प्रवर्तते तत्र सर्वाणि तीर्थानि प्रयागानीति तत्र वै। सर्वे देवास्य ऋषयः योगिनः पन्नगाश्च ये गोपाला गोपिका वापि नारदोद्धव पार्षदैः सहायो जायते शीघ्रं यत्र गीता प्रवर्तते। यत्र गीता विचारश्च पठनं पाठनं श्रुतं तत्राहं निश्चितं पृथ्वी निवसामि सदैव हि। गीताश्रयेऽहं तिष्ठामि गीता मे चोत्तमं गृहम्। गीता ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य त्रीन् लोकान् पालयाम्यहम्। गीता मे परमा विद्या ब्रह्मरूपा न संशयः। अर्धमात्राक्षराणि च स्वानिर्वाच्य पदात्मिका चिदानन्देन कृष्णेन प्रोक्ता स्वमुखतोऽर्जुनं। वेदत्रयी परानन्द तत्त्वार्थज्ञानमञ्जसा। योऽष्टादश जपेन्नित्यं नरो निश्चलमानसः ज्ञानसिद्धिं स लभते ततो याति परं पदम्। पाठे असमर्थः सम्पूर्णे तदर्थं पाठमाचरेत् तदा गोदानजं पुण्यं लभते नात्र संशयः। त्रिभागं पठमानस्तु गङ्गास्नानफलं लभेत्। षडंशं जपमानस्तु सोमयागफलं लभेत्। एकाध्यायं तु यो नित्यं पठते भक्तिसंयुतः रुद्रलोकमवाप्नोति गणो भूत्वा वसिष्ठिरम्। अध्यायश्लोकपादं वा नित्यं यः पठते नरः स याति नरतां यावन् मनुकालं वसुन्धरे। गीताया श्लोकदशकं सप्तपञ्चचतुष्टयं द्वौ त्रीनेकं तदर्धं वा श्लोकानं यः पठेन्नरः चन्द्रलोकमवाप्नोति वर्षाणामयुतं ध्रुवम्। गीता पाठः समायुक्तो मृतो मानुषतां व्रजेत्। गीताभ्यासं पुनः कृत्वा लभते मुक्तिमुत्तमां। गीताच्युच्चारसंयुक्तो म्रियमाणो गतिं लभेत्। गीतार्थश्रवणासक्तो महापापयुतोऽपि वा वैकुण्ठं समवाप्नोति विष्णुना सह मोदते। गीतार्थं ध्यायते नित्यं कृत्वा कर्माणि भूरिशः। जीवन्मुक्तः स विज्ञेयो देहान्ते परमं पदम्। गीतामाश्रित्य बहवः भूभुजो जनकादयः निर्दोषकल्मषालोके गीताया ताः परं पदम्। गीताया पठनं कृत्वा माहात्म्यं नैव यः पठेत् वृथा पाठो भवेत् तस्य श्रम एव ह्युदाहृतः। एतन्माहात्म्यसंयुक्तं गीताभ्यासं करोति यः स तत्फलमवाप्नोति दुर्लभां गतिमाप्नुयात्। सूत उवाच Mahatmyametad Gitaya Maya Proktam Sanatanam Gitante Chapate Jastu Eduktam Tatphalam Labhet. Om Tat Sat. Iti Shri Varaha Purane Gita Mahatyam Sampurnam. Now we will get on to our prized chapter, the second chapter of the Gita, which is considered the essence of all the Upanishads. The second chapter itself is considered the essence of the Gita itself. But because Arjuna happened to ask in the beginning of the third chapter one question, to be in a position to answer that, Bhagavan Krishna went on and on and on up to the 18th chapter. In between, Arjuna went on asking some various questions. Right? Chapter 2, yeah. Can we get a little back? Arjuna Bhavacha. We'll go to Arjuna Bhavacha. No.
You wanted to chapter 1?
Even before. Correct. The beginning of the chapter.
The beginning of chapter 2 is Arjuna Uvacha. I mean, Sanjay Uvacha.
Okay. That we will start with that. Okay. Chapter 2 has started with Sanjaya. Sanjaya reporting to who?
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra. And after that, tam tada krupaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha. Okay. But Brahmara, I wanted to get back to the two other verses of Arjuna. Karpanya dosho upahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammoda chetaha sishyasteham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Those verses.
That comes later in this, no? So let me go down.
Okay.
I thought you were going to chant all the shlokas of chapter 2 till we reached where we stopped.
Tam tada krupaya. Okay. Yeah, this is the beginning of the second chapter. Right? Yeah. Tam tada krupaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam anadyajushtama swargyam akirtikaram arjuna klaibyam asmagam apardha naitattvayupapajyate kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam chektvothishta parantapa. Arjuna Uvacha katham bhishmamaham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana ishubhi pratiyochyami pujarha varisudana guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan Shreyo bhuktum bhaikshyamapi haloke hattvardhakamamstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan nachaitadvitma kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuhu yaneva hatva najijivishamaha Tevastita pramukhe dhartarashtra karpanya dosha upahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha ichreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me sishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat Yechokamuchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnam ruddham rajyam suranam api chadhipatyam. Sanjaya Uvacha Evamuktva Hrushikesham Gudakesha Parantapa Nayocha iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babhuvaha Tamuvacha Hrushikeshaha Prahasanniva Bharata Senayorubhayor Madhye Vishidantamidam Vachaha. We'll get to the 11th verse a little later. We'll go to the earlier verses where Arjuna said, Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammodha chetaha. Because these two verses we kind of rushed through yesterday. Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammodha chetaha ech shreyaha syat nishchitam bruhi tan me sishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Now, any doubts till now? Any questions, please? Okay.
There were no questions.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Now, karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha. This karpanya dosha is very well covered in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there was a rishi who wins a lot of wealth from the Janaka's court after defeating a lot of people. Okay, and the beginning of that debate was Janaka says to the Vedantic Pandits and the general Pandits assembled there in his court. Hey, you people, you are all great noblemen. You are all very learned. You are very wise. You are Panditaha. Now I have got 1,000 cows. These 1,000 cows, each one of the horns of the cow is decorated with pure gold shell like, and in the neck also there is hanging a golden bell, and these 1,000 cows will go to the person who wins today's debate. As Janaka announces this, Yajnavalkya, the rishi of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, he tells his Shishya, I forgot his name, Shishya's name. Hey, Shishya, you take all the 1,000 cows home. And then the Shishya takes the cows home. Janaka and all the other Panditas and courtiers will be really shocked. How come this Yajnavalkya has deemed that he has already won the competition? And everybody will be up in arms against Yajnavalkya, etc. In spite of that, and Janaka also inquires from Yajnavalkya. Incidentally, this Janaka is the title of the king whoever rules that Mithila Nagaram. It need not be Janaka who was the father of Janaki, right? Sita Mata. So Janaka is a kind of a name like the President of India, you can say, President. So Janaka asks Yajnavalkya, hey Mahatma, how did you think you have won the competition? Then he says, in your court, Maharaj, I know a lot of people, they do not know anything about Atma Vidya. I will have to teach them. Okay, you are welcome to have any debate open. I am open to competition. But I have already won. That is for your appraisal. Then he continues and wins. After winning, he gets a lot of wealth, isn't it? In addition to the cows, Janaka will be very pleased with Yajnavalkya, gives him a lot of wealth. With that wealth, he comes home. He has two wives, Katyayani and Maitreyi, I think. Yeah, Maitreyi. And as both the wives, look, I have got a lot of wealth, but I have no interest in this wealth. I am taken to sannyasa. Okay. Before that, I wanted to divide the wealth to both of you equally. What do you say? Katyayani says, okay, give me the half. And she takes that half. Katyayani is the elder wife, older wife. Okay. Maitreyi says, hey Mahatma, hey Patideva, by taking the other half of the wealth, will I be happy throughout my life? Will I be happy forever? Can you give me that with which I will be always happy? Please teach me that vidya which makes me happy. And that is how this Upanishad starts and things like that. In between, of course, it has started earlier, some Madhukanda and other things they have started earlier. In this, he teaches Maitreyi, and when he teaches her, she will be really surprised that indeed what Yajnavalkya has been saying is so. Yajnavalkya, you know what he says? Hey, you as the mother, you love your children, not for the sake of the children, but for your own sake. You as my wife, you love me not for my sake, but for your sake. Then Maitreyi says, how do you say for my sake? I love you so well. Then he says, you love me so well because not loving me will make you unhappy. So, to gain happiness, you love me. It is for happiness that you do anything. And he says finally, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya. Because the love for oneself, everything else becomes as though lovable, as though likable. And otherwise, it's simply not possible. Like a madman cannot love anything. Madman cannot love anything. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. In that, while teaching Maitreyi, he mentions why I opened Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is because of this word, karpanya doshaha. And Yajnavalkya mentions to Maitreyi, defining karpanya. Hey Maitreyi, yova means whoever, yova etad aksharam gargi, not to Maitreyi. Afterwards, he goes to Janaka's court again, and there will be debates, a lot of debates. There, one lady Pandit will be there, Gargi. She will engage him in some debate, and they very nicely, argue. And Yajnavalkya wins over Gargi also. Then during that samvada, Yajnavalkya mentions to Gargi, when she has questioned, what is karpanya? Then he says, Yova etad aksharam gargi aviditva precha saha kripanaha. Whoever Gargi is that lady Pandit. Whoever etad aksharam, this aksharam is immutable aksharam, that which is inexhaustible. Etad aksharam means aksharam happiness, that is. Aksharam garge aviditva means without knowing, pretya, if he or she dies, Saha Krupanaha. That fellow is a Krupanaha. Krupanaha means miser. Krupanaha is miser. And Yajnavalkya defines Krupanatvam like that. Yova etadaksharam garge aviditva precheti saha Krupanaha. Saha Krupanaha. And this Atma Vidya is what? Atma Vidya is what? Like in Atma Bodha we have picked up. Atma tu satatam praptopi apraptavad vidyaya tannashe praptavad bhati swakanta bharanam yatha. Isn't it? There are so many beautiful verses in Atma Bodha we have picked up. We may be chanting some of Atma Bodha verses during the course of our second chapter, because this is full of Atma Bodha only. Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha. Hey Krishna, because of my very miserly attitude and because of that attitude enveloping my swabhava, my normal being in the mind, swabhavaha, karpanya doshaha, upahata swabhavaha, pruchhami tvam. Tvam is you. You, pruchhami, I'm asking. Dharma sammudha chetaha. Because in respect of dharma and adharma, I am quite deluded. Before the war has started, I was very, very anxious to know who I am going to fight, who are all the warriors I am going to eliminate, etc. That is why I told you, Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye Meradham Stapay Achyuta Yavadetan Niriksheham, etc. And afterwards, when you said, Pashya Kuruniti Partha, Pashya Kuruniti, then I have seen, then I was overtaken with tremendous compassion. I do not know whether this compassion is misplaced or otherwise. I have as though forgotten the Rajadharma. And what is dharma, what is adharma? I'm in a fix now. Is it going away, not fighting dharma, or fighting and eliminating these people, conforming to Rajadharma, which will ensure the adharmi is eliminated to re-establish dharma? The Rajadharma is you have to always re-establish dharma. And you can establish dharma by eliminating such as those adharmis like Duryodhana. And Arjuna knew that, but he forgot. He forgot because of what? Karpanya doshaha. With that, he was overwhelmed. Karpanya doshaha, upahata swabhavaha. Swabhavaha, his normal attitude, his normal well-being in the mind is shattered. Pruchhami tvam, I am asking you, dharma sammudha chetaha, totally deluded in the mind regarding dharma and adharma. Yat shreyaha, what is beneficial? Yat shreyaha syat, what is beneficial going to be? Nishchitam bruhi, please decidedly tell me. Please decide and tell me. Please decidedly tell me. Nishchitam bruhi tan me. Tan me means that shreyaha, whatever action is required, tat. Tan me means tat me. That you please tell me. Sishyasteham. Sishyaha te. Te means to you. Aham, I. Sishyaha, I am becoming your Shishya. Shadhi, mom. Teach me, please. Shadhi, mom. Tvam prapannam. Tvam is you. Prapannam. I am surrendering. I have no other refuge. You are my final refuge. Karpanya doshaha upahata swabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha echreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me sishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. This is considered one of the very great verses uttered by Arjuna. Arjuna was not an ordinary prince, was not an ordinary being. He was a great prince, and as a person, without even being a prince, he was a wonderful nobility. Wonderful nobility in all aspects personified. Such a person is asking Bhagavan Krishna, Shadhimam, please teach me. Tvam prapannam, I am surrendering to you. Yeah. Can we go to the next? Yeah. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat echokamuchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnam ruddham radyam suranam apichadhipatyam. We will start with this. Radyam suranam apicha adhipatyam. Radyam, kingdom. Okay? Suranam api. Even amongst, even over the gods. Adhipatyam cha. Adhipatyam. Adhipatyam means sovereignty over even the gods. Avapya bhuma. Avapya bhuma. Avapya means having obtained. Bhuma vasapatnam ruddham. Asapatnam ruddham. Asapatnam means without any rivalry, asapatnam, and there are no strings attached, like what the governments these days give to the farmers and things like that. They will give you so many sale deeds. This is your 10-acre land, etc. They will be very happy. Go there to see that the land itself is not there. That is done very repeatedly by the present day governments. Okay. Asapatnam ruddham. Asapatnam unrivaled. There are no questions asked. That is yours. Which is one? Which is yours? This Rajyam. Avapya Rajyam. Asapatnam ruddham. Ruddham is very prosperous, very rich, very wealthy. Okay. And ready for harvest, that kind of a thing. Ruddham, Radyam Suranam Apichadhipatyam. What is all this? Nahi prapashyami. I am not able to see. Nahi prapashyami. This nahi looks more like Hindi nahi. Nahi prapashyami. Mam apanudyat. Mam. Mam is me. Apanudyat. For relieving me. For relieving my tremendous agony. Echokam. Echokam. Yet shokam. Echokam is yet shokam. Whatever this sorrow is. Echokam uchoshanam indriyanam. It is really drying up my indriyas. Indriyanam includes mind also. This shoka is drying up my mind and sense organs. Even though I get all these things. Avapya Radyam, okay, Asapatnam Ruddham, Bhuma Radyam, Asapatnam Ruddham, Radyam, Suranamapicha Adhipatyam, even then, Nahi Prapashyami, Mam Apanudyat, Et Shokam. This sorrow I am not able to see. Who can relieve? How it can be relieved? And if you see in these verses, earlier he has said what? He has said what? Kadam Bhishma Maham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana. Is it not? Kadam bhishmamaham sanke dronam cha madhusudana ishubhi pratiyochyami pujarha varisudana guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhikshamapi haloke. Didn't he say that in the third or fourth verse? Shreyo bhoktum bhikshamapi haloke hattvardhakamamstu guru nihaiva bhungiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan na chaitadvidma kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadivano jayeyu yaneva hatva na jijivishama te avastita pramukhe dhartarashtraha. All these things he has said, and his mind is now set on what? Bhaikshyam. And Bhaikshyam everybody cannot do. Only two sets of people can do. One is a brahmachari of those days, Vedic times, and another is a sannyasi. He is not a brahmachari now. He is already a grandfather. And Arjuna is pretty old also. And during the Dwapara Yuga time, that old age, by number wise, it has kind of rendered him as the youth of those days. You know, he was considered to be 81 years old when the war broke out. Bhagavan Krishna also almost the same age.
That's your current age.
Huh?
Your present age, Arjuna was during the Gita.
Arjuna was? Your
He's
audio is very weak.
very weak, is that okay? I'm just putting it up.
Hello, Brahmara.
No, yeah, Arjuna's age at the during the Bhagavad Gita is your current age. I'm saying.
No, not like that. When you go through Mahabharata, there is an account given by Vyasa Bhagavan of the ages of different yodhas. For instance, Bhishmacharya was given 125 years, right? Yudhishthira was given some 85 or 86 years. Krishna and Arjuna were given the same age. Bhima and Duryodhana were given an age between Yudhishthira and Arjuna. That kind of a thing. Such a person who was considered a youth of his times, see those days, see the Yuga Dharma, the Dwapara Yuga Dharma. A grandfather is considered a Yuvaka. And grandfather is considered a hero fighting and leading the warfare, like Arjuna is. That's how things are. So here, in all these verses, Arjuna has indicated, Krishna, there is no use fighting. Okay, I'm overcome with compassion. I cannot fight. I can't eliminate these people. And after eliminating these people, how can we enjoy that Rudhira Pradigdhan Bhogan? How can we enjoy? So there's no question. Bhikshamapi ihaloke shreyaha. That Bhikshatana is shreyaha, is preferable, is beneficial, etc. He has been saying that. And his mind is set on that. Arjuna's mind is set on Bhikshatana, because he has already decided he will not fight. Because eliminating so many people on both sides is not going to help. Narake niyatam masaha bhavati chanu shushruma. He has said all those things. And patanti pitaro shesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. When these warriors are killed and their parents without the pinda, udaka, those kriyas, they will also patanti. All these things he has advanced, and his mind is certainly, definitely on sannyasa. With all that, he has said, in spite of it, he had a little doubt whether what he is saying is right, whether what he is thinking is right. That is why he said, Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammoda chetaha. In respect of dharma, what is adharma? What is, how it is to be eliminated? Who has to be a dharmi to eliminate the adharmi? Do we have to take the mantle of responsibility of cleansing adharmis from the globe? All these things were bothering him. Nahi prapashyami mam apanudjat etchokam etshokam uchoshanam indriyanam. They're drying up all my sense organs and the mind. In spite of my getting even the Triloka Adhipachyam also, I do not think this shoka will vanish. That is why he is saying, Nahi prapashyami. I am not able to clearly see. Mam apanudhyat. For relieving me of this suffering. Mam apanudhyat. And he is indirectly hinting to Krishna, the only way this sorrow can be taken care of is to take to sannyasa. Sannyasa, there is no sorrow. That's what he has been thinking, right? Rajyam suranam api chadipachyam. Yeah, next verse. Next verse, Brahmara. Yeah. Eva muktva hrushikesham gudakesha parantapaha. And see here beautifully. Earlier he said what? Sishyasteham. I am your Sishya. I have become your Sishya, like Shadimam, teach me. Tvam prapannam, me who has surrendered to you. When he has said all those, now what is he saying? What is he saying? Eva muktva hrushikesham, thus telling Hrushikesha, Gudakesha parantapaha. This parantapaha is, it's a terror to the foes. Gudakesha is Arjuna. Now he is saying what? Nayotya, I shall not fight. Nayotya. Then what happened to your being a Shishya? What happened to your seeking teaching from Krishna? You have asked him, Shadimam, Tvam Prapannam, I surrender to you. Did you really surrender? And did you seek teaching from Krishna wholeheartedly? If so, why are you saying, why are you deciding on your own? Let the Guru decide on your behalf for your hitam. What is Shreyaha? And you also asked in that verse, Et Shreyahascha Nishitam Bruhitan me. What is beneficial to me? Please decidedly think about it and tell me. When you have said all those things, then whether to fight or not to fight also is going to be the decision of the Guru to whom you have surrendered. What kind of a surrender is this? Nayotcha, I shall not fight. Iti Govindam Muktva, having said to Govinda, Tushnim Babhuvaha, he simply kept quiet. The purpose of this is Nayotcha, it's a conditional Shadimam. It's a conditional Prapannam. Surrender is a conditional thing. Conditional in the sense, Nayotcha is the condition. I am not going to fight Krishna, whatever you say, but please teach me. I am not going to fight. I have surrendered to you. That kind of a thing. That is, you have tied Bhagavan Krishna hand and foot and asked him to teach. Is it fair? Is that a fair thing to seek from a guru? Nayo chaiti govindam muktva tushnim babhuvaha. When you do this, now who is deciding for your benefit? Is it the Guru to whom you have surrendered? Is it the Guru whom you requested him to teach? Now you are as though teaching yourself. Nayocha. Then with all these things, Krishna Bhagavan has seen. He has heard very, very patiently throughout at least the half of the first chapter, because the other half was occupied by so many other people, including that wily Duryodhana. He very patiently listened, and now Bhagavan is going to answer, teach Arjuna. Tamamacha Hrishikeshaha Prahasanniva Bharata Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye Vishidantam Idam Vachaha. Vishidantam, the very sad looking Arjuna. Vishidantam Idam Vachaha Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye. Now look at it this way. The chariot is not disturbed. It is where it was when Bhagavan Krishna kept it and said, Pashya Padha Samavetan Kuruniti. During the course of the first chapter, he said that. Is it not? Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye Vishidantam Idam Vachaha. The chariot is in between the two armies only. And Tam is Tam Arjunam Vishidantam, okay, Prajnavadamsya Bhashayantam, etc. All these things Bhagavan is going to say. Tam Uvacha. Uvacha is what said. Hrishikeshaha, Bhagavan. Hrishikeshaha, the one who has mastered the sense organs, or the other this thing is one who has a wonderful, wonderful set of hair. Prahasanniva Bharata. Prahasan. Lot of people have commented on this Prahasan. As though smiling, some people said. But some people said Hasan is laughing. Prahasan is loud laughing, very loud laughing. Prahasanniva Bharata. Whatever, Krishna would not have laughed aloud and made Arjuna get insulted in front of both the armies. Krishna always had the well-being and hitam of Arjuna, and including his psychological setup. He would not have done that. That laughing he would perhaps not have done. Prahasanniva, smiling, as though the smile is visible to only Arjuna. Prahasanniva Bharata, Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye, Vishidantam Idam Vachaha. This sentence he has said, and that sentence is the rest of the Gita. That sentence is the rest of the Gita, from the 11th verse of this chapter till the 66th verse of the 18th chapter. It is a big vachaha. It is a big sentence. In between, Arjuna would say something, Sanjaya would say something. Those are okay. Right? Now, can we enter the portals of the Gita?
Yes, surely.
11th verse. We'll just about touch upon that. We will extensively cover that tomorrow. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. And the Shri Bhagavan we have covered. What is that? The Shri means Jagat Guru. Bhagavan is what? Whoever has got Bhagas. Bhagavan, the one who has the Bhagas. What are all those Bhagas? Aishwarya, then Viryam, then what else?
Shauryam.
Yashaha, etc. Now I'm getting back to that. Aishwarya,
Jnanam and Vairagya.
Jnanam and Aishwarya, Virya, Yashaha, Shriyaha, Jnanam, Vairagya. What kind of overlordship is this? What kind of overlordship? The 14 lokas as mentioned in the Mahabharata and also as mentioned in the Gita also. All those things are not only created, for that you need to have a set of laws to govern what you have created. And you will have to have the lawgivers. All these things have been established. That requires a lot of overlordship. What to speak of a little place like either Bangalore or Hyderabad to be administered and things like that, for which people have been breaking their minds and losing their hairs. Right? Now, Aishwarya is that. It is Akshara Aishwarya. Akshara Aishwarya. Then Virya, power. That power also. Now all these lokas, when you have established, if there are any miscreants, you will have to take care of them. And how will you take care of them? Miscreants will be many in all times, in all yugas. You will have to take care of them. That requires Virya, tremendous power. And because of that, you will have a lot of Yashaha, and this fame, that Yashaha, will make your enemies shudder before they repeat doing anything bad to any of these lokas. So that is going to be, your Yashaha is going to be deterrent to all these people. Shriyaha, lot of wealth, all these lokas for being fed and being looked after very well. They have to be happy, they have to be wealthy. The Shriyaha is required, lot of wealth. Jnana, Jnana is required. Jnana is required for what? For people like us, for instance. Tapobihi kshenapapanam shantanam vetaraginam mumukshonam apekshoya Bhagavad Gita vidhiyate. Suppose Bhagavan has thought about it and granted that we are all mumukshus, and he is going to teach us the Bhagavad Gita. So that Bhagavad Gita teaching requires a knowledge to be able to impart the same to us. That means what? He must have self-knowledge, and he must have the knowledge that we're all his self. We are all his selves. Okay, or you can say we're all himself. Jnana, then Vairagya. Vairagya, dispassion. Why dispassion? As he is teaching, suppose, and some one of us falls asleep, another person yawns, and another person comes today, tomorrow absents himself, that kind of a thing. He does not mind. He does not mind. He has a lot of compassion for those people who are the dropouts. He has compassion. Why? Because, hey, poor fellows, this is something you need to know today. If you don't know today, mahati nashtaha, this Atma Vidya, if you have not known and you die tomorrow, mahati nashtaha, vinashtaha. It's a tremendous loss, my dear. Why don't you listen? Please keep on coming regularly and gain something from this Atma Vidya. That kind of a compassionate teaching requires Vairagya. Okay. And Shri is Jagat Guru. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. And what did he say? Ashochananvashocastvam prajnavadamsya bhashase Gatasun agatasumscha nanushocanti panditaha. Beautiful verse. Ashotyan anvashochastvam. Ashotyan, you are grieving Arjuna unnecessarily. Anvashochastvam. Prajnavadamscha bhashase. You were talking as though like a pandita. Prajnavadamscha bhashase. Gata asun. Gata asun means where, in respect of people where the pranavayu has gone. Asu is pranavayu. Gata asun, agata asunscha. For those in respect of whom the pranavayu is still there, that is, people who are dead and gone, and people who are alive. Gata asun, agata asun, na anushochanti panditaha. In respect of either of these, panditaha na anushochanti. They do not grieve at all. And you are grieving using a lot of big sounding words and language. Narake niyatam vasaha bhavati janu shushruma. Aho vata mahatpapam kartum vyavasita vayam. Nakangshe vijayam Krishna. Yajyapyetena pashyanti. Even though they are not able to see the fallacy in this, Yajyapyetena pashyanti lobha upahata chetasaha. Why we are not able to see? We are able to discern better, isn't it? We are better thinking people. Why is it we also have come to this battle trying to eliminate our own folk? Swajanam hikatam hatva sukhinashyama madhava. How killing the swajana? How can you expect us to be happy, Madhava? All these prajnavadamsya bhashase. Gata asun agata asumscha. Panditaha na anushochanti. This panditaha is, Shankaracharya defines this. Panditaha is Atma Vishaye Jnanam Vidya Yasya Asti Saha Panditaha. In respect of Atma Vidya, that Sampurna Jnanam, that Vidya, whoever has got, that person is a Pandita. And Arjuna was talking like a Pandita. Prajnavadamsya bhashase gata asun agata asumsya na anushochanti panditaha. Right? And the next verse is even more beautiful. I will simply read the meaning of that and leave it at that for today. Natveva ham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayavata param. Natveva ham natu eva aham jatunasam natvam na ime janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayam atah param. In fact, hey Arjuna, there was never a time when I was not. This is shocking to Arjuna. There was never a time when I was not means what? Before he was born, he was certainly not. And Arjuna knows after he calls it a day, he will not be. In fact, there was never a time when I was not, or when you or these kings were not. Nor is it a fact that hereafter we shall all cease to be. See, these are bombs dropped on Arjuna's head. Earlier bomb was what? Ashotyan, gata asun, agata asun, panditaha na anushochanti. Here he is saying, it's not as though I was not. It's not as though you were not. Nor is it that we will not be in future also. That means what? He has given Punarjanma Vidyate. He has clearly said this. Punarjanma Vidyate. Right? We will cover these two verses and some more verses tomorrow. Now, any questions thus far, please?
I just have one question. When you mentioned about Bhagavan, Bhaga means those 5 qualities. Is
Not
this any
five, six.
6 qualities.
6
Yeah.
qualities? And then the one like VAN, that is there any meaning to that?
Which one?
For
Virya.
the Bhagavan, like the last.
Bhagavan.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
Supposing, madam, you are a wealthy lady, you will be called what? Dhanavan.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So I
Supposing
just wanted to know the end, like the one, VAN.
that one is the one who has got those. Bhagavan means the person who has got all the bhagas. The bhagas are the infinite absolute virtues. Whoever has got, that is Bhagavan. Not everybody else these days. Everybody else has got a tendency to call himself Bhagavan. That is silly, really.
Right.
These people will have to have these bhagas, Aishwarya, absolute, Virya, absolute, Yashaha. What kind of Yashaha these so-called people calling themselves Bhagavan have got? Yashaha is limited to their borders. Shriyaha, wealth, Jnana. Jnana is what? Jnana,
Knowledge.
personified. And Jnana, it's a burning sphere of fire, ready to offer heat to everybody. That Jnana, that kind of a thing. And Vairagya. All these, whoever has got in tremendous abundance is called Bhagavan. Shri Bhagavan. Vyasa Bhagavan has not used any other word for Shri Krishna. He said Bhagavan. In the entire Gita, he said Bhagavan. And Vyasa, compared to Vyasa Bhagavan, Arjuna and Krishna are very young. In spite of it, Vyasa Bhagavan has realized the greatness of that soul in Krishna. That is, he is an Avatara Purusha. He is a Sampurna Avatara. And he has said Bhagavan. And when he started teaching the Gita, he becomes Shri Bhagavan, Jagat Guru Bhagavan. Right? Did I answer your question, madam?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Any other question? We will take it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Now we will have the Shanti Patam. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om, Nana.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you.